There is a country rife with insecurity and consistent loss of lives, in which an assassination attempt was carried out recently. An opposition candidate went to the state in that country, and gunfire was opened on him and his envoy. He did not go there to campaign, he went there to welcome someone who had defected to his political party. Prior to his visits, the governor of that state had warned that he could not guarantee the security of this opposition candidate, who is well known for his peaceful and wise nature. What caused all these in 2026, you may be wondering? Stay tuned and find out. Welcome, guys, to Namumu, the Fight for Politician. Here we demystify African and international politics. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, stay tuned, like, subscribe. You won't be disappointed. All right, so we're going to be talking about assassination attempt in 2026, Godfatherism and eyeservice in a country of particular insecurity. All right. So yeah, the intro was not a lie to real, to get you interested in the video. It's actually something that actually happened in the year 2026, okay? So it's not something that happened in 1956. It's not something that happened in 1986. It's something that happened in a country that claims to be a democratic country, right? So this politician from the opposition party in a particular country that's experiencing a great case of insecurity, he went to a state to welcome, another politician that was defecting to his party. And before he went to that state, the governor of that state had warned him that his security could not be guaranteed. This is a governor speaking, right? And this is a governor that receives allocation from the federal government of that country for security of lives and properties in that state. Okay? This is a governor that receives allocation for security. He was not telling another opposition candidate that his security cannot be guaranteed in his state. Hey God. Wow. Oh my goodness. So you may be wondering, what is the problem? Like, why would a governor say that? Don't worry, I'll explain it to you. Now, this particular governor is a very, very grateful person. He was saying that to the opposition candidate as a form of showing his loyalty to the president of that country and to the political party that brought him into power. All right? So that's why the issue of Godfatherism is very, very important when we are talking of African politics. People that have money, people that have political power, when they're through with their term, right? Or when they want to capture a particular state, they look for a willing puppet that they know will not betray them when they get power. They make that puppet, they give that puppet power. It could be minister, senator, governor, most likely governor of a particular state that they are targeting. And then they make sure that person wins. Okay? They manipulate the votes. They bribe people. In my last video, I spoke of vote buying. They bribe people. They use armed thugs to intimidate voters and to steal ballots. To steal ballots in areas where they know that they will not get many votes. They use armed thugs in those areas. And then they do all they can to make sure that this particular puppet becomes a governor. So when this person becomes a governor, the person now feels obligated to be loyal to the people that put him there. Do you understand? So that's how the cycle continues. That's the scourge of Godfatherism in politics, in African politics, and probably other continents of the world. I'm an African, so I know more about African politics. And don't worry, we'll also discuss international politics from an outsider's point of view. So this particular governor, he was put there. He probably never imagined he could ever, get that kind of power. And I don't blame him. When you grow up in a country of particular insecurity and poverty, having dreams, it's not like America where everybody has dreams, or at least they used to have dreams, dreaming of such high authority, such high positions of authority is, it's not very common for people. So when you now find yourself in that kind of position, you begin to act a fool. So I do understand. I understand it. But just because I understand doesn't mean that it's right. Okay? So this governor now, his eye service is becoming too much. So now the opposition candidate went to the state to welcome, a member that was defecting to welcome a politician that was defecting to his party, and then guess what? In 2026, not 1949, not 1952, not 1983, not 1999, in 2026 of all years, this country of particular insecurity is still having an issue of armed men as trying to assassinate opposition candidates. I can't even tell you how I felt when this news broke out. I was just like, am I living in a banana republic? Like, what kind of, I don't, assassination attempts, my brothers and sisters, on an opposition candidate in broad daylight. They shot at his vehicles, they shot at his envoy. There are bullet holes on the gates, to the arena where they were holding the defection. And I'm just like, what? Like, who plays these games? Is the governor trying to prove his loyalty to the president of that country? I say, but he's not the only governor that has been, he's not the only governor that has a godfather in the president. There are other states as well that, the governor in fact, there's a particular state where the governor came forth. And somehow, the person that came forth was made governor. Person that came forth in the election was made governor. Do your research if you think that's impossible. But you don't see such things happening in that state. So why is this state different? Like, why would you armed gunmen in broad daylight? So you're not even trying to hide you're not trying to hide your hand. You didn't even try to do it at night, in the daytime. After telling this opposition candidate that his security would not be guaranteed in your state. I'm just like, oh my goodness. I really have to talk to people about this because this is getting out of hand. This is why Godfatherism is very dangerous, very dangerous. Now just tell me something now. If that particular country now is holding elections, do you think the governor of this state will not manipulate votes in favor of the president? If he can hire armed thugs to shoot at an opposition candidate and his envoy in broad daylight, do you think that he will not have the audacity to manipulate votes in favor of his president, in favor of the people that put him there, in favor of the party that put him in power? So how can democracy win when Godfatherism exists? And we are talking of daily killings. People are going to church, they are killing them, kidnapping them, assaulting their daughters. And your own state self is not yet known for that. And you are now deciding to bring armed thugs to threaten and try to assassinate opposition politicians in your states just because you're grateful to be in power. Meanwhile, in that same state, there had been a protest by some university students, about the scourge of kidnapping in that state. Your state is rife with kidnapping. And yet, instead of you to focus on the work that you have been voted in to do, you're busy concerning yourself with opposition candidates, threatening them, telling them that their security is not guaranteed in your state, and then allegedly using armed thugs to threaten them and try to assassinate them in 2026. Like, these are things that we used to hear of growing up, that back in military regime. Like, when I heard it, I was just like, are we in democracy or are we in a military regime? For goodness sake. Like, back in the days, I used to hear of all this, these heads of state, coups, things like that. they could just come and drag a journalist out of his house, imprison the journalist. Like, it was like a den. So when I heard the story, I was like, oh my goodness, am I in 1988 or am I in 2026? Is this not a democracy? Is this not a democracy? It's very, very disgraceful. It's very, very disgraceful. It's very, very appalling. It's very, very sad that instead of doing the work that you've been elected to do, you choose to dabble in messy politics. And then at the end of the day, the people are left to suffer. They are left to suffer because the officials that have been elected, they are not doing their job. So the people are left to suffer. It's just a very sad situation, honestly. And it just goes to show that people really have to work hard to get rid of some certain kind of politicians in Africa. Because I don't see how the continent will move forward until we get rid of some certain kind of politicians. We need to round them up and just get rid of them. Honestly, we need a clean slate. Africa needs a clean slate. That's just the truth. Anyway, if you like this video, please like, please share, please subscribe. There'll be more to come. It's a sad story, but we'll see what happens next. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.